is that, let's see, I think we can talk a little bit about aliens. There was I don't know. I wonder if Michael has really delved deep into this one. But there was a UFO caught on camera hovering over Air Force One at LAX during Joe Biden's fundraising trip to Los Angeles. Do you believe it?
Yeah. Well,
yes,
go ahead, Charles. I was obvious.
Go ahead, Michael.
Well, I'll just say real quick, just to add a piece. In the Daily Mail article, it says that there was an LAPD helicopter up there circling it because they were like, what the heck is this thing? But
yeah.
Go ahead, Charles.
I was going to say, I think it's probably a drone. Because I feel like if I believe in UFOs.
Drones?
I believe in UFOs. They can have drones. They probably made drones. I believe in UFOs. But I feel like if it's hovering over Air Force One, they're going to get some better footage of it, or they're going to shoot that thing down or something, unless it's some sort of private drone that somebody's like, oh, let me just. But then again, as I fly drones, and you can't get them a certain foot, you really can't get them in any airspace at all when you're immediately near an airport. And I'm especially certain if the president's airplane's there. So
you fly drones?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Huh?
Tell me more. What does that mean? You fly drones?
I turn a drone on, and then I take my drone out and I fly my drone and get footage and stuff.
Footage of what?
The city. If I'm out somewhere, I took it with me when I went to Mexico a number of times. I took it with me to the alligator park, just whatever. Who knows? Whatever. There was a tornado here last year. I took it down to the tornado wreckage and got good footage of the apartment building where it was ripped off.
What do you do with that? What do you do with that footage?
Post it on the internet, sell it to Getty Images, whatever.
Dang, how much money you make on that?
Not much at all. It's fun more than anything.
Yeah.
A couple bucks. But it's fun.
Don't get me wrong. I'd go for it. Fly drones. I think that's cool. I'm not saying you're weird. I'm not saying it's bad. I just didn't know that you fly. I don't know that I know anybody else that flies drones. You might be the only one.
No, I mean, it's pretty, there's a community, and you can, so my drone is a DJI. That's the brand. People say you shouldn't get it because it's made by China.
I hear DJIs are really good.
Maybe. I mean, it's nice. It's very nice, but they do competitions where you can enter competitions and I don't know, enter your footage, and you compete with other DJI drone flyers and stuff. So it's cool.
Okay.
So the PR team at the Pentagon is out in force. And they're saying it's a balloon.
A Chinese balloon?
I don't know. I don't know if it's Chinese, but headline of USA Today: UFO or balloon? Unidentified object spotted over Air Force One may have a simple explanation. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. The only photo I saw was the one in the article, so I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me.
And I think that's the other thing, right? I think we now, because aliens are so much in the news all the time, we automatically assume stuff is aliens. UFO technically just stands for unidentified flying object. So it really could be a balloon. It could be, I don't know what else. A drone, a pigeon.
I don't think it's a pigeon.
Give me a break, Charles. Maybe it's probably UFO. It's probably what's that guy's Venusian Thor? What the fuck was his name?
David Grush?
No, the guy that I sent y'all, the guy that was in the White House, the alien in the White House. What the
that video you sent us.
Yes, the guy that I've been trying to remember on the show for weeks, and then I finally find something about him, and now I can't remember him again. Valiant Thor. You should look him up. He's an alien who's in the White House in the 60s. So, but Tucker Carlson has been all over this, as not this specific story, but all over aliens. He won't even tell his wife. And Michael defends this person on the regular, even though there's absolutely no reason to defend him. Tucker's being a fool. He's being a tool. If you got info, share it. Let us know. Don't say, it's so crazy, I can't even tell my wife. Bitch, why are you telling us that?
I know. I hate that stuff. Don't tease us. Just don't say it or say it. I know Michael feels differently. I just also am confused because Tucker spent all this time bringing all these UFO people on. Now he's like, it's not aliens, it's spirits. And I'm like, okay, well, which one is it? Because I definitely thought it was aliens, and I still do think they're aliens.
It's one and the same. What's
the difference between an alien and a spirit, really?
No, the theory is what we're seeing in the sky isn't actually things from other planets. It's things from other dimensions or other dimensions. I'll use the term dimensions.
Okay.
You're not actually, and this is a very common theory in the UFO world, is that what we're seeing is spirits. It's not aliens from another country or another planet, not country, but planet.
So what is a spirit in this case?
I don't know.
So Michael, you're saying, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What are they trying to convey when they say that? Like, it's not actually an alien, it's a spirit. Does that mean that it's a ghost? Does that mean that it's I don't know, an ethereal element they traveled through a tear in the time-space continuum, and it's wispy and waspy? It doesn't have a solid form to it. There's no mass to it. Or does it mean something else? Is it an angel? What does that mean? When you think of it, what does it mean?
See, this is the hesitation that Tucker probably has, and even I have, and I'll say some wild shit. Like, no problem. I don't think we know. The theory is, okay, I posted on Twitter the other day. Imagine if there's a sixth sense that human beings don't have access to.
Okay.
We'd be running around the world looking at the world as if we're missing a sense, as if all humans had no eyes or no ears. We could be that shut off from reality.
Sure.
Out in the world, that we have a sense that we can't pick up on things. And maybe whatever they are, the UFOs or the spirits, are just, they're revealing themselves in our way of perceiving the world, which is sight.
So you're saying we live among them, but we just don't see them.
Correct.
And so we're all in the store together. We're like all in HEB, but like we're just like we because we don't have that sense. We're not a part of that world.
I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that is a theory, and it seems to me that's where Tucker Carlson is hinting at, because I've gone down this rabbit hole and I sent you guys that video. You got to listen to that guy. I mean, it's 3 hours long. It's Danny Jones. I'm going to listen to it. This guy talks about it a lot, and he's like interacted with these things according to him.
Well, how do you open your third eye? Like, how do you get that sixth sense?
I don't know.
How did he get it?
Well,
or
if we
assume,
well, he tells the whole story of, and we don't need to go down this rabbit hole, but he tells his whole story on that podcast.
Adrenochrome.
When he's first exposed to. No, he was like some.
I'm joking. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but that he has interactions with them all the time, and it could be the same phenomenon as ghosts that lots of people have interactions with.
I've seen them.
Maybe we're talking about the same things, or maybe they're aliens from some far off star and they are that. Or maybe it's both.
I guess let Charles get away with saying that he's seen ghosts and not tell us about it.
Well, okay, but first, Michael, okay, so I'm getting what you're saying about Tucker. Tucker's not saying that aliens don't exist. He's saying that what we perceive to be aliens, which are these creatures from other worlds, might not actually be aliens. The aliens might just be spirits from our world that are in a different dimension.
Yep.
Okay. And yes, I saw ghosts. I used to see ghosts a lot until I was about 10, or maybe not 10, maybe a little younger than that. But yeah, I used to see ghosts when I was a kid all the time. And it was so strange. And I wasn't scared of them until a certain point. And then suddenly I got scared of them. I don't know why. But yeah, I used to tell my parents all the time. I'd be like, oh, do you see that guy sitting right there? Or like, do you see that person who just came through the door? And my mom would be like, who? Like, and she'd be like, and I'd be like, that person right there. Do you not see them? And then one night, I mean, she believed me, I think, but when she really believed me, it was one night I was laying in bed. Me and my brothers had bunk beds. My brother had a bunk bed. He was on top bunk bed. I was on the bottom. And there was a door in our room that was like straight ahead. So I'm like laying down and like I'm looking at the door and there's these two people standing in the doorway and it's like 3 a.m. or something. And I'm just like looking at them and I see the woman. She's like in this like long dress. She has this like hat on. It looks like she's dressed from like the 50s. The guy's in this suit with this nice top hat. And I'm just staring at them and they're just standing there doing nothing. And then I go to sleep, wake up, and I explain them to my mom. And the guy was my grandmother's father, so my great-grandfather, who passed away well before I was born. I'd never even seen a picture of him at this point. and he was wearing what he wore when they buried him. And then the woman was my great grandmother who died his wife who died in a house fire that he tried to save, and he had burns all over him because he ran in the house to try to save her and he wasn't able to save her. But he saved my grandma and my grandma's 2 sisters, and she died in this house fire. And that was, and I described her, and I'd never seen either of them. I never saw a picture of them until after the description, never saw what the clothes they were wearing. But my grandma was like, oh, that's something that she used to always love to wear or something like that. So it was just, I used to see him all the time, in the kitchen, in the house, outside, just all over the place.
Did they ever interact with you besides just looking at you?
No, it was always just kind of like they were just there, and like maybe they'd walk past or like but no, they would never interact with me. It was interesting because like I knew that they like weren't, I don't know, like I knew that there was not another person in the room with us, but like I could clearly see this person and it didn't freak me out. So it was really weird. But no, never interacted with me, never like knocked anything over or like knocked on the wall, like nothing like that. It was just they were just there walking by or standing there or whatever. And then after a while, I don't know if it was after that experience that I explained vividly to my parents and my grandparents, but shortly thereafter, like I got scared of them and I just stopped seeing them entirely.
Maybe you had sense.
How old were you when you stopped?
It was somewhere between like the ages of like 8 and 10, something like that. So it's still very young, but yeah.
I totally believe that stuff. And interestingly, after we had this conversation, I got a call from a very close family member, which I'm not going to say who it was on the podcast, but her and her kid have been experiencing some similar things as of very recently. And they're both seeing it. And it's, man, I totally believe that stuff. So to tie it all up, are those the same phenomenon would be where I think Tucker is going with the UFO thing? Like those are the same phenomenon.
Well, I mean, I guess if I believe that, I can believe that. So yeah,
those are 2 different phenomena. Charles seeing a ghost and Charles seeing an alien. You know, aliens as we are supposed to perceive them as, you know, either little green men or grays or whatever the hell. There's a bunch of different races. Those are two different phenomena. I think Charles would probably agree. Hey, there's a ghost right there and there's an alien right there. Right?
Yes. But maybe what Tucker's saying is that aliens aren't little green men. Like maybe he's saying they look like us. They're just not. I don't know what he's saying because he won't tell us, but like maybe he's saying they're not, because like maybe our perception of what an alien isn't what an alien actually looks like. And I don't know. But yes, I have the same thing, like a Martian with the hat or the bubble around its head. Like that's what I think of when I think of alien, and maybe that's not what it is.
You think of Mars attacks.
It doesn't address the Grush allegations, the Virginia case, the Roswell case, where there are people talking about seeing what we perceive as aliens. The spiritual explanation doesn't explain those limited number of cases where there's actually bodies of little green or gray men.
Okay.